RV Skylights and everything you need to know about them. Whoopee, that calls for a big whoopee, right? Skylights, how exciting. Well, that's what's on the agenda for today and staying on the road. And in the Enjoying the RV Life segment today, it's all about top 5 RVer hacks. So we're going to break that down, get into some easy hacks for you to do. And once again, we're going to go on a road trip this week with Alexis, and she's going to take us to the Sawtooth National Recreation Area in Idaho, and that's going to be in the next stop. And then we're going to wrap up the show with RV Envy, and in that segment, we're going to talk about Dicor products for sealing. Dicor is one of our favorite brands, so we're going to dig into it with them as well. So this brings us to episode 138. And this is Eric Stark with the Smart RV'er Podcast, delivering the smarts you need to enjoy the freedom of the RV lifestyle without the fear of breaking down. So here we are. Welcome to the show, Alexis.
Thanks, Eric. Happy to be here.
Happy to be here. All right. That's what we like to hear. Enthusiasm.
Yes.
Because we love helping our customers.
We do.
Right?
We really do, honestly.
Helping people out there in RV land.
Yeah, they need it. Hopefully.
Everybody does.
That's right.
You know, there's a lot of things, moving parts on an RV, a lot of things to break, a lot of things to maintain, and that's why we're here, to help everybody do that.
Yes, sir.
Whatever their skill set is, or just to have the knowledge of, hey, I need to get this to the dealership.
Yep.
Because this isn't working right, and I know it's wrong.
Exactly.
And I know it's beyond my skill set, so I'm going to take it in. Then the other guy who's the real do-it-yourselfer is like, who cares, man? I'm going to get that in my driveway, and I'm going to tear this thing apart, and I'm going to fix it myself.
Yeah, that's impressive.
It is. That's cool, man. You know, it saves a lot of money, a lot of headache that way, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, it helps through life, be able to do things yourself. All right, so now let's get into enjoying the RV life and talk about the top 5 RVer hacks.
All righty.
You know, everything's hacked today. That's all they talk about.
Exactly.
Yeah, pretty soon they're going to hack the human body and you won't be able in control of your own mind. Right?
Oh, boy. Here we go.
I've been hacked.
I've been hacked.
That's a good excuse.
My brain, it's been hacked.
Your parents like, hey, I'm going to clean your room. I was hacked.
Yeah.
I didn't have control. I had to go play.
Get rebooted.
Yeah, I'll reboot you, son.
Exactly.
Yeah, my dad used to reboot me. I think that worked.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, everybody needs a good rebooting. All right. So the first one on our list, remember, is 5 top RVer hacks. So these are the top 5.
Yep. Yeah. So organization and storage solutions came up first. So this is just something that we might overlook a little bit, but it's a good thing to keep in mind. So we want our RV to be organized. We know what's in it. We know what's not in it. We can kind of keep things simple, have only what we need, and that way it's not overloaded and we just don't have a bunch of garbage laying around, you know. The next one is maximizing space. So this is kind of goes under the RV Envy. There might be something that we can put in that might make it a little bit better, like bed risers. That's kind of cool. Using storage for extra bedding. We can hang collapsible laundry hampers. There's just an endless amount of things we can do.
Yeah, you know, keeping stuff kind of out of sight, but organized at the same time is important, you know.
It's a small space.
Yeah, I sometimes have a tendency of, like, I'm using it and I just throw it in a cabinet. It's out of sight, but there's, you know, too many things end up in there that it's hard to get it, you know, especially if it has cords. But, you know, one thing you can do, too, is you can make hangers. You know, I saw this on a Jeep a while back. On the rear door, on the inside, they had a pouch that hung on the door.
Oh.
And you could roll up the window and everything, but it'd be for storage, like you're camping. So, you know, it's getting creative and clever, finding ways to put things, bags that maybe hold magazines rather than a wood rack, simple things. Sometimes, you know, a lot of these things can be bought at, you know, Walmart, places like that, IKEA.
Yeah.
You know,
basically anywhere, yeah.
So also, you know, keeping the storage good, but it's also keeping some air and ventilation going.
Oh my gosh. RV. Yeah, you wouldn't think about that, but that is like huge. So one thing we were talking about is the vent covers, allowing for that ventilation. You need that when you're cooking or just have an airflow. Even when it rains, you can use it for that, which is nice. Have that airflow still going, which could be
right. So that's
lovely.
The external vent covers that mount over the existing 14 by 14 vents and leave that vent open and that air moving.
Exactly. Super nice.
And also, if it's colder out, you can get the vent stuffers that go up in the vent to keep the cool out in that area.
Yep.
You can put insulation in the windows.
Yeah.
Now, here on this one, it says reflective window coverings.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
In the wintertime, they're fine, but in the summer, I don't like the reflective because it builds up so much heat between it and the glass.
Sure.
Yeah. It'll dry out the seals. I don't think that's a good one because it's like a microwave oven behind there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we discovered that while we were in Arizona, how much hotter windows got with that versus having a cover on the outside of the window.
Right, which we
made out of sunshade material, which, by the way, Sunpro Manufacturing makes those. So if you want an exterior window cover for all your side windows, we can do that for you.
Okay, so no reflective window covers. That's a non-hack. That's a
non-hack.
Yeah, okay.
That's where I've been hacked. And then putting some fans inside the RV to move the air around. I think that's obvious. People do it in their homes, but RVer, sometimes it's harder to find little fans that are quiet too, so not so noisy.
Yep.
Okay, then what about power, Alexis?
We got power management on here, which means investing possibly in solar panels, because that's going to be a good way to get that power flow in, using the sun for that. And I hear you install solar panels and sell them.
We do.
So you know what it's like.
Let's say when you're out camping, you're not worried about your power, running out of battery type of thing, having to run your generator, firing up your truck or whatever to charge up the batteries. That's a slow charge anyways.
Exactly.
The solar is just there.
Yep.
Portable generators are good too. I prefer those much over the built-in generators.
Yeah, definitely.
But making sure you have power, then, and we just talked about surge protectors in our last episode.
Yep, we did.
But using surge protectors to protect that RV.
Just have one. Just do it.
Yeah.
Don't even think about it.
That's right. And if nothing ever happens, well, then nothing ever happens.
Yeah, then you're set.
Just in case. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, on the list is RV maintenance and safety.
Always. I think we just always talk about this one because of how important it is. So you want to have your, essential toolkit with you. You're going to need common parts for your RV. You want to have a carbon monoxide and propane detector, and just keeping track of everything like tire pressure. There's tools you can use to keep track of that. And
you can go all crazy with add-ons like tire pressure monitoring systems, but you don't have to have that. Those are nice to have.
Really nice.
Backup cameras and things. But if you just create a list and just stick to it and all the things that are essential before you travel, when you're setting up, when you're tearing down, it's easy to forget about things.
Mm-hmm.
Drive off with the new RVs have the steps that fold up into the door. You can get everything put away and forget to put the step up and drive off,
Oh, boy. Yeah.
It'd be a disaster,
Yes.
And they're not designed to, break away, and they should be designed to break away, but they're not. So, so if you're a genius out there and you like making and inventing things, there you go. Make a breakaway system for those fold-up steps.
There you go.
So if someone pulls forward, it just snaps off and doesn't destroy the RV. And you can just send those commissions to me and Eric at the Smart RV'er Podcast.
Yep, along with the Pez dispensers.
And a Pez dispenser. Okay, so that's going to bring us to the end of the living the RV life or enjoying the RV life. The top 5 RVer hacks, and of course these will be on our website under Enjoying the RV Life. Everything's always there. And as a reminder, we have come out with the Freightliner windshield cover for the M2 and S2 RV in the solid black or the block out material, so people cannot see in during the day. So you can go to sunpromfg.com to check that out. Look for the link for Class C windshield covers and click on it, and bam, they're there. So that's a great choice if you're looking for a windshield cover for an M2 or an S2 RV. Now, this brings us to staying on the road, and today we're going to talk about skylights. Now, skylights really aren't that exciting. Kind of a boring subject. It's just up on the roof. But we do have to know what a skylight is versus a vent, because there's confusion there. I know it's just words, but words matter. When you're going into a store and you say you need a vent, a lid, a cover, something for the roof of your RV, then the person has to start asking questions. Well, what do you mean? Does it open and close? Does it do this and that? And you get annoyed with them and, get a little snarky. Now, maybe that doesn't happen, but, the questions start flying, and really it's just a skylight. So it's a light on the roof made of plastic for the most basic definition. It doesn't open or close. Generally, they're in the bathroom, over the bathtub or the shower, and that's it. That's generally where they're at. Not always, so don't hold me to that, but that's usually where they're at. Now, a skylight doesn't open or close. It's just mounted to the roof. And sometimes they have a garnish on the inside that has plastic on it, and basically what that does, it just hides all the ugly from where they cut the hole in the roof. And that's it. It's not critical to anything. It's not going to keep water out, nothing. It just covers the ugly. That is it. And even those come in different shapes and sizes and flavors. But so a skylight is permanent, stationary. It doesn't open or close. And so when you go into a store, you want to make sure you explain that it is a skylight. Now, I've said this before. In fact, I think in our last episode, number 137, I talked about vents. And when you look at a vent, you think that vent's in all RVs because it's in yours. A skylight can be the same way. You think that, well, this skylight must be on all RVs. So they're all the same size, and they're not. There's different brands, different styles. So you have to get up on the roof of your RV and do a little legwork, or take your inner skylight down, or the inner or the garnish, whatever you want to call it, take it down and measure the hole in the roof. So you either need to go on the roof and measure the flange of the skylight. So the flange is where the screws mount it to the roof. So you're going to have to peel off some of the sealant because it's going to be covered with sealant. And so you can get to the edge of the flange so you can measure the width and the length. So you need two measurements. So that would be the flange measurement. If you take the garnish down, or what they call the inner down on the inside, then you can measure the cutout in the roof. Either one of those measurements will get you in the right direction of getting a replacement skylight. But there's no point looking for one. And I've seen it. I mean, we've had people who brought skylights in and say, here, you can have this. We bought it online. We thought they were all this size. And they're not. And so, measuring it and getting the right one's the first step in this journey, but understanding what you have too. You might think because your skylight has an aluminum frame on it and it sits 2 inches off the roof that every RV has that. They don't. The vast majority of RVs have skylights that mount directly to the roof. There's no aluminum flange or framework or anything. That's a completely different version of a skylight. Sometimes they're much harder to find parts for, or a new skylight itself. You might have to replace it and get one of these styles that mount right to the roof. And it doesn't matter how it mounts. If it goes right to the roof, it's still going to seal and become watertight. If it's sitting on an aluminum frame, it doesn't matter. It's still watertight. The same principles apply. So that measuring is important, and sometimes the depth of it, if it's 4 inches deep, 5.5 inches deep, especially if it has an inner and you're not replacing the inner or the inside piece, then that depth will be very important. But if yours doesn't have an inside piece, and it maybe has cloth or something else to cover up the hole in the roof, then you don't have to worry about it. And I say that too because not all skylights have a matching inner for it, at least not with the brands that most RV stores can get, which is Specialty Recreation and Icon. They have some inners, but not an inner for every skylight, so you have to keep that in mind. So the manufacturer of the RV might have done something else for the inner, one that's not going to crack and fall apart, maybe last forever. Just depends on how they did it. Then there are some skylights that actually come with the upper piece and the inner piece as a kit. It's the only way you can buy it, which is great. Makes it real simple if you come across one of those. So that's an if you have one of those. So there's more to it than it's just a skylight on the roof. there's sizes, styles. Is it clear? Is it white? Is it smoke? And then when you're installing it, after you get a new one, some brands will come with the sealant that goes underneath it, between it and the roof. Some won't come with anything. So when you're installing it, it's critical that you get it sealed correctly. Otherwise, it's going to leak water. And also, when you're tightening the screws, you don't run them in so tight that you start cracking the skylight itself. You want them to be tight, but without bowing it and cracking it. So if it doesn't come with a sealant, you can use butyl tape, not putty tape. Use butyl tape, or you can get a butyl that comes in a cartridge. Dicor makes it, and it will, you put it in a cartridge gun, and you squeeze it out, and that works the same as butyl tape. A little easier to use. Either way, either one you want to do, like especially recreation comes with a butyl in a cartridge, so it works great. And then after you get that sealed, you're going to get that on the base of it all the way around, make a nice layer of it. If it's butyl tape, it's naturally going to cover 3/4 of an inch or an inch wide. If it's butyl, you want to accomplish the same thing, a nice bead around there about 3/4 of an inch wide. Some of it's going to squeeze out. You don't have to worry about that. You can clean that up. And then after you do that, you're going to put a layer of lap sealant around the skylight, on the flange, all the way around it, going on the skylight or the flange and the roof of the RV, making a nice seal, and you're going to put it on every screw head. That's going to keep the water out. Now, as I said that, it dawned on me about taking the old one off. Be careful not to ruin the rubber roof. Don't just pull that sucker off. You might pull off part of the roof with it. If some of the old sealant doesn't come off that was around the edge of the skylight, don't worry about it. If your new one fits in and there's already a layer of lap sealant around it and you can't get it off, do not try to get it off. You'll probably ruin the rubber roof. As long as the skylight will fit in there and you can get a good seal, don't sweat it. In other words, the old sealant will leave like a rectangular shape. If your new one, you'll dry fit it before you ever put sealant on it. Make sure it'll fit in there and sit down on the roof. Then you just seal it like normal. When you're done, put the lap sealant on. It'll overlap the flange and the old lap sealant. But do not ruin your rubber roof in the process of this. And it can happen, so be careful there. So skylights are really a simple thing to do. I emphasize that water leak just so you're aware how important it is, which I think is obvious. You don't want it to leak water. But it's one of those things, just take your time. Don't be in a rush to do it. Don't do it when it's rainy or wet out. Do it when the RV's dry, nice sunny day. Make it a nice installation, and then you do the inside ever how you have to do the inside. If you can get a new inside piece, if you need one, if the factory one will still work, you can use it. So I hope that helps, and we'll have more information on our website at thesmartrver.com. So check that out when you get a chance. And now we're going to go to the Sawtooth National Recreation Area in Idaho.
Woohoo!
So Alexis is back alive again.
That's right.
She takes a nap during staying on the road.
Yeah, I do.
That's my area.
Hope you couldn't hear my snoring. Sorry.
Right. You turn your microphone off.
Yeah.
All right. So Alexis, what can you tell us about Sawtooth?
Oh, these are just beautiful mountains. Really jagged. I think you said you were camping back a few weeks ago, kind of close to these. Maybe.
We did.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So it's just they're just beautiful. Look up a picture online if you haven't seen them. But they've got alpine lakes near them. It's just a lush forest. And then the Sawtooth Scenic Byway is really cool. That's accessible by car. You can drive that, and I guess it's outstandingly beautiful. So I've not been on it yet.
Yeah, that whole area is just filled with beauty. We went to Chalice. We did a big loop. We went through Park City, not Park City. I just had it a second ago.
Oh, it's okay.
The ski place.
Oh, okay. Trying to think.
Ketchum, Idaho.
Oh,
is
okay,
next to, I forget, something else city. I can't remember. Very popular area. We did a big loop through there, but in that entire area, there is so much to see. There's lakes, there's rivers, there's flat land, there's marshes, meadows, animals.
Beautiful.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So that, that entire area can be just a big loop. You could spend weeks there.
I
But
bet.
up in the Sawtooth, this recreation area, there's tons of stuff to do.
So much stuff.
We are planning on going back to spend more time there.
Good. Yeah.
There's just
That's
so
beautiful.
much to see and do.
Yep. Yeah. I don't blame you.
Little towns. We stopped at a place, great pizza place.
Oh, that's right.
that, yeah.
Man, I really wanted some of that.
So, if you're in the area or you want to have a nice trip, like for a week, you could go here for a couple of weeks and not get bored with it.
Man, that's awesome.
And you could move around and really experience it.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah, it'd be a great place to go. I kind of cut you off there, but
No, I'm
just
glad you
such a
did.
cool place,
You've been up there. Yeah, that's
right.
pretty
and
neat.
Just being there is really fresh in my mind, although I
Yeah.
can't remember the name of cities.
Oh, well, who cares?
But Ketchum was the place.
Yeah.
So, and you can actually take a road from Ketchum over to the highway where Chalice is. It's a back road that they close in the wintertime,
Okay, yeah.
which is unbelievable. You're at the top of this mountain
cool.
peak looking down into this valley, 10,000 feet down. You're like, man, if you went over the edge right now, things wouldn't work out too well for you. And you probably wouldn't want to take an RV on that road either, by the way.
Yeah, too narrow.
All right, so I'm having a hard time talking now for whatever reason. So check out RV Destinations magazine. It's just as beautiful as the Sawtooth Recreation Area, made out of paper. You can get a copy of it, or you can download it on the internet. Very high quality magazine. Go to their website, rvdestinationsmagazine.com, and you can see for yourself what they're doing and how great that product is. Now that's going to bring us to RV Envy, and today we're going to talk about Dicor products for sealing your RV. So Dicor products are a product that absolutely work. They've been in the RV industry for decades. Their products are sold everywhere. In fact, that's what we prefer to sell in our store. There's other brands out there, but we know what we're getting with Dicor. Work every time. They're not complex, easy to understand, easy application. The instructions are right on the packaging. So they make the various sealants. They make the tapes. Whatever you need for sealing your RV. They make butyl. They make it all. And if you want to keep your RV dry, which is one of the most important things, is keeping the inside of your RV dry, because that's where your investment is. It's not outside, it's inside. So Dicor for keeping your RV sealed is the way to go, especially on the roof, using their products like their lap sealant. That's all we use. That's all we sell. Yeah, using it on the roof, Dicor products is what we just flat out prefer. Great product. And we've never had a complaint. No one says, this stuff doesn't work. Can you get this or that? Now, everybody has their favorite brand, too. Some people like this brand or that brand, and that's fine. We just prefer Dicor. So I'm just going to leave it at that. So that's RV Envy. If you're using the right product, people are going to be envious of your RV because it's going to be bone dry on the inside. All right, so don't forget to check out our YouTube channel, The Smart RV'er, to look at the videos we're doing there. They're very enjoyable. They're very helpful. So like and subscribe to our channel on YouTube. In our next episode, we're going to be talking about low voltage in RV parks and what you can do to increase the voltage and not ruin appliances in your RV. So I want to thank everybody for listening today. This is Eric Stark with the Smart RV'er Podcast. It's been great hanging out with you. If I don't see you on the road, let's connect at the smartrver.com.